big plays with them big names and them big buildings. That's big business. Hit 10, but that's big pimpin'. My potential, that's infinite. Pin game insane. Make hits like King Griffin, a 10th inning.
I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Hello and welcome to the 10th Inning Podcast. This is episode 15. I'm Dan. That is Sean. And he doesn't have anything to hold up, but I am, listen, we are here. I'm the host today, which is kind of exciting stuff.
He is the host.
Having a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm actually freaking out on the inside. I feel like I've kind of shit on Sean for being a host, a lot, and now I'm in his shoes, and it is scary. Honestly, Sean, folks, I'm done. I rode the roller coaster, and I ran. Can you just take over? I don't like this at all.
Now, if you guys can hear me or see me, I have since gone from the. I'm in the wilderness now. I went from last week. We were in the metropolis of Long Island, and now I'm in upstate New York, somewhere out in the wilderness with the bears and the moose and all that fun stuff. So yeah, the Wi-Fi is exactly. The Wi-Fi is not great, but I'm doing Zoom on my phone. Please bear with us because we're hoping it works. Exactly.
I got the bear joke. I like that joke.
That was a good one. Yeah. So this is a collective 10th inning podcast Jordan flu game.
Here we are.
Yeah.
So first up on the docket today is we're going to talk about something we were supposed to talk about almost 2 weeks ago now, it seems like, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give you our top 5 prospects for coming into this season. Now, this might not be our top 5 prospects in the pipeline in general right now, because some players are expected to come up and play next year that are probably already in the top 5. I'm not sure. I just think about that. However, this is our top 5 for this year.
Yeah.
So if you guys are fantasy players of regular fantasy or dynasty players, this could be interesting to hear our perspectives or hear who you should avoid, right? Because whoever we say will probably either not play this season or come down with a season-ending, career-ending, really, injury in spring training if that happens.
And we were half joking when we say that. I am notorious for picking players and getting injured. Mike Trout, Trey Turner, the list goes on.
I know it's a wild thing for me to say, Sean. Would you like to give your first prospect? And this doesn't have to be 5 or 1. Unless you have an order.
I don't have a particular order. I'd like to start out with some guy that I have on my Fantrax team that I discussed last week at pretty good length. Adley Rutschman, catcher for the Baltimore Orioles, the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, and boy, do the Orioles need him to pan out. According to MLB.com, they have their list of top 100 prospects. They have his ETA in the majors as next season, 2022. Highly touted prospect. He's moved through the system pretty quickly. Again, I apologize. I had more notes about this, but the Wi-Fi issues have kind of limited me. So if I'm not super in depth, I apologize. But Adley Rutschman, I think that I'm excited to see him. Selfishly for my Fantrax Dynasty League as we call it. So I'm excited to see him perform. Obviously, the catching position is a tough position. There's a lot of nuances to that position, but he could be. In my hope is he is the next Buster Posey, because me and you both saw him come up through the minors and make it to the majors, and that was big news. And hopefully, he has a career that comes close to rivaling Buster Posey's.
Yeah, no, he is an exciting prospect for sure, and he definitely, I think he gets that number 1 overall ranking for. He's very equipped defensively as well, but you don't see. Catcher's been something that's been a very weak position for literally 10 years. As Sean said, Buster Posey's actually. I wasn't always a huge fan of him. Kind of Giants guy. He didn't really jive with me. Leif liked him. Those things kind of just 2 big X's for me. But
yeah.
I watched his entire career. And for his entire career, it was basically him, Salvador Perez, and Yadi Molina, right? Is the only 3 kind of mainstays throughout that era. I mean, it's an obviously offensive weak position because defense is valued much more at that position. But Adley could be one of those rare, possibly even early career Joe Mauer types where like the offense is like kind of the premier part of his skill set, which is exciting, especially in a fantasy league, a dynasty league, where defense doesn't really count. And again, not to say I'm pretty sure he's pretty well equipped defensively, but if he can be an offensive stalwart, that's pretty valuable. So I think that's fair to go with as your top dog. Speaking about dogs, I had to do the intro today, so I couldn't do something I wanted to do. I got a little Christmas gift on Christmas. I want to show you guys.
Wow.
I'm gonna turn my my virtual background off for a moment. I know you guys are dying. You're like, God, this is all I wanted to see today. Didn't really care about the whole baseball stuff. So here's the dog, right? You give him some coins.
Wow. That's fantastic.
And I'm sorry I moved it that way and it went out of the screen. I have the mirror thing on, which is very confusing for me. But again, speaking of dogs, we're gonna get into my top dog. Right as I get the background back on for you. Check my Google Doc. So I didn't want to just highlight. I figured Sean would come in here. He would just list the prospects 1 through 5. This guy. He goes Adley. He'll have 2 or 3, 4. You know Sean. If you're a friend of the pod, you know Sean. So
all right.
On his team. I wanted to come in here and get a little diverse. I also thought Mistletoe Matt was going to be on this podcast. So I was trying to get some interesting takes. So one guy I want to shout out, I mean, I wasn't going to talk badly about you, I'm not going to lie, is I'm going to go pitching first is what I'll do. I'll go pitching.
Okay.
First. And I feel like I just kind of screwed my whole comment I just made there. Let's go with Shane Baz, probably one of the top or the top pitching prospect. Kid's a stud. I mean, we saw him come up with the Rays last year. I have stats that I wrote down here 2 weeks ago. Man, if I could tell you what they mean now, it would be great. You know what I believe? Yes. Okay. So these were his minor league numbers from the season before: 1.76 ERA, 13 Ks per 9. People didn't know if he would come up and be the same kind of dominance. What did he do with the Rays last year? Again, in 13 innings pitched, a 2.03 ERA and 12 Ks per 9. So the K rate stayed pretty much the same. ERA stayed the same. Again, one of these small sample sizes you could ever see, 13 innings pitched. However, the guy looks like a stud. His stuff is absolutely electric. He plays well in MLB The Show. That's got to mean something.
Yeah. Didn't he start a game in the playoffs this year? He started game 1 at the ALDS, I believe.
I watched so little of the AL side. I can't confirm or deny, but I think you're correct.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to the listeners, but I'm 97% sure that you are correct. Guys, if you ever think about what's the truth or not, you go with that. Again, I'm gonna switch the mirror because I'm pointing to you right now, Sean, and everybody else I look like an asshole. And I can't.
It's okay. It's okay.
I know that's not rare, but you guys are gonna have to deal with that backwards. So now, listen to guy, that makes me feel so much better. It really does. So Shane Baz is the first guy I'm going to highlight. The only issue I see with Shane, especially in a dynasty setting, the guy plays for the Rays. The Rays have built many great pitchers and ruined many great pitchers, and a lot of them are the same people. In the battles of trying to win with a small market team, you got to do kind of weird things and be inventive, and a lot of times that doesn't jive with like conventional stats. Pitchers can't rack up innings. They get pulled early. They don't get in situations to prove themselves or work through innings. So it can be tough, especially in a fantasy situation where if Shane Baz is on any other team, I'd probably be more comfortable with him. But on the Rays, it's kind of tough.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I gotta be honest, I didn't hear a lot about him before this season. I know you're really into the whole prospects, as am I, but you kind of take it to a whole other level. But yeah, I would agree with you on the Tampa Bay Rays side. I mean, look at the pitchers they've had come up. I mean, Blake Snell, one of them. You know, he was great for a period of time, few years, I'd say, and he's not the same since. But they have a lot of years of team control, and as long as he's on the Rays, he's probably going to do well. But as you also touched on, I'm sorry, once again, some things break up here and there, but the Rays don't exactly let their pitchers go deep into games either. So that might affect some points wise on the fantasy side of things. On the black and white in person side, where you're watching him play every day, he's going to be a wonderful player for the Tampa Bay Rays, and just another guy that can slide into that rotation.
Rotation, is that what they call it over there in Tampa?
Loosely called that.
What do you who do you got for your number 2? Or again, you're just second guy you want to bring up?
So to stick with the catching position of the San Francisco Giants. Yeah, and I don't think you were expecting this one. I'm just saying. Joey Bart.
Joey Bart action on me, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, he's already debuted. He played 33 games in 2020, the shortened season. 233, excuse me. This year, past season, he only played in 2 games, 6 plate appearances, and a batting average 333, which doesn't mean much. But I'm looking forward to him stepping into that catching role because obviously Buster Posey is retiring. Big shoes to fill. Not going to say he's going to, come in here and, swiftly take over that position, but he's a guy that MLB.com ranked him number 16, and I believe that he has fallen a little bit. I'm not sure how high he peaked on the list, but I believe in years past he was a little bit higher, which makes sense because he, has played in the majors and hasn't necessarily had immediate success. But as we talked about the last episode with Vladdy Jr., he didn't exactly have success right away. And there's another guy on this list that I'm going to talk about is near and dear to Dan's heart that also has not had success immediately. I think you guys, if you watch the episodes, you can probably infer who I'm talking about. But yeah, Joey Bart, I think that he has a good chance to succeed. Seems like San Francisco Giants, they are great at growing their homegrown players and kind of moving them up the ranks. They have a lot of guys who are homegrown who are now a little bit older in age. So there's been a bit of a gap since they've had their top prospects, per se. But I think that he's stepping into a good situation, a good veteran team. And I think could be a very solid everyday starting catcher for the San Francisco Giants.
I like it. I like that out of you, kid. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Joey Bart's not someone who's been on my radar this year, but I honestly feel I'm not going to get too far into it for personal reasons. I think the catcher position is one of the deepest we've seen as far as minor leaguers.
Yeah.
Long time. I think, put your bets down on this statement here. In 5 years, catcher will not be the weakest position offensively in baseball. I think the catcher position will have as many top offensive bats. I think the catcher position will have one more. I'm thinking about this here, Sean, because they're going to put their bets. I got people's money on the line now.
Absolutely.
The catcher's position will have a better offensive output as a league than the first base position in 5 years from now.
Wow. And the first base position is slugging position.
That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, the Mets have Francisco Alvarez. He's not part of the list because he's years away, but he's the number 10 prospect in all of baseball. So yeah, I'm looking at the list right now, and there's you can keep talking, and I'll let you know how many top 100 prospects are catchers. I don't want to steal your spotlight here.
No, of course. Do you want me to go into my next player while you're doing that?
Sure.
Yeah, you cut me off whenever. I cut you off whenever. I'll go with. You got it already?
I'm almost done.
Guys, at this point, we're just gonna watch his cute face. I think raise your hand if you just want to sit there and watch this guy's cute face trying to use the internet in the wilderness.
There are 11 top 100 prospects who are catchers. 11.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, no, and a lot of them are offensive guys too. we've seen a lot of defensive guys come up, like when Zunino came up a couple years ago and stuff like that, like defensive mind, like they have pop. Like Roberto Perez is like a really good catcher these days.
Yeah.
Like that's, but I'm telling you, 5 years, there's going to be like 3 or 4 guys that could give you, Posey, Salvi type numbers. That's my feeling. I really think it's a good deep position.
I like that.
But I'll go to my second guy here, and screw everything I said in the beginning. Sean left this guy out here too long, so I'm going to take it. Bobby Witt Jr. Okay. What number is he? Is he 2 or 3?
He is number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Hey, listen, I didn't go number 2. How do you feel about that? This guy's just an absolute stud, an absolute monster. First off, let's just be frank about things. Good-looking kid. Okay, and if you think that doesn't play for anything, it does. All right, it does. Good-looking kid. 21 years old with the Kansas City Royals. He is Whit Merrifield. I don't want to say 2.0, but he's knocking on the door there. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to give you some stats from last year, make sure it's in AAA. It was. He had 61 games in AA, 62 in AAA. We're talking 29 bags and 34 homers. Am I 33? I'm sorry. 29 bags, 33 home runs. To go along with 35 doubles. Okay. 290, 361. This is a complete player. He's a 5-tool guy. I have heard and have seen that he's pretty smooth up the middle. I think he's going to stick it short, which is fantastic. Shortstop's another position where the talent right now in the minors is insane. He was also I think the 5th best shortstop prospect just last year, and he was still a top prospect. There was C.J. Abrams, Royce Lewis. I can't remember all of them, but it's insane. And the problem is the shortstop talent right now is the best talent in the game. The best talent we've had in probably 30 years. The shortstop's the best position in baseball right now. As far as talent. So it looks like we have a long time before shortstop is letting up kind of the dominant position. And I remember as a kid, first base, not even close. And shortstop was kind of more so light hitting, good fielding, similar to a catcher. Shortstop has flipped that switch. And it makes sense. They're the biggest athletes, right? They're the best athletes on the field, center field, shortstop. But, the power that has come from shortstops. Like when Lindor hit 30, maybe 2016, 2017, they're like, 30 homers for a shortstop. That's crazy. That's almost never been done. Now it's status quo. It's really it's crazy. Because if you haven't been following baseball for a long time, you might forget that this has not always been the case. But Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be the next great shortstop, in my opinion. Very polished.
I love that. I really don't have anything else to add. I think you covered that beautifully.
You mean that?
I really do. Deep down, I do. So my next guy, my computer is not loading some important stuff, but I think Dan, you'll be able to help me out with this one.
Sure.
The next guy I have, I believe, has already made his major league debut. Again, the stats aren't loading for me, and he plays at the American League team. Is Julio Rodriguez.
I believe he made his debut last year.
No, he didn't. Okay. Well, Baseball References. No, you're right. He doesn't have any. Half the screen is loaded.
Well, you tell me what stats you want, I'll give them to you.
Give me his essential offensive stats: batting average, RBIs, hits, stolen bases.
So last year, the highest he played was AA. So he has some high A and AA stats. The kid is 21. He's an absolute monster of an athlete.
Yes.
So he played in AA for 28 games. He hit 325 with a 410 on base. And they were like, all right, Julio, we're gonna put you to AA now because you certainly just can't be tearing up single A pitches like that. It's rude. And then he went and hit 362, 461 in 46 games. So that the promotion didn't really work as well as they wanted it to. In fact, it got worse. The guy's an absolute animal. He had 16 bags in 46 games in AA, along with 7 homers, 29 walks and 37 strikeouts. The guy's not 1-to-1, but he has a decent enough eye to where he's going to balance out the Ks. I mean, you take it away from what you think about him, but
Yeah. Can I include my next guy in with this?
Sean, this is your fucking show, babe. You do
Okay,
whatever the
thank
hell
you.
you
Thank
want.
you. I really appreciate that.
All
All
right,
right, so the next guy's already made his debut. Jared Kelenic. Dan loves him. We know that. Great player. Ex-Met, traded Robinson Cano for him. They got Robinson Cano for him. Still hate that. Anyway, the Mariners. I like their potential outfield down the line, man. These two guys, I mean, Kelenic struggled a little bit, in the beginning, but it is rare that a guy comes up like Mike Trout and just tears the cover off the ball immediately. Like, that just doesn't happen very often. Give the guy some time. Kelenic factored into this decision just because the Mariners, for as bad as they've been, I feel like they do a decent job of developing players.
Yeah.
They haven't made the playoffs in like 20 years, but they have had some great homegrown talent. Seager, obviously, who just retired, has great homegrown talent. I believe Zunino came up with them, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
And
There's some other guys whose names I'm just forgetting at the moment. But I think Seattle does a good job of developing their players, and also have a very young and exciting, fun team. They just missed out on the playoffs this year. And I just like the direction the team is going. So Julio Rodriguez, I'm excited for, but I'm also, I guess, excited for Kelenic as well as the Mariners as a whole. So that's what kind of drew me to them. And also, as you said, he's rising up to the minors very quickly, so much so that MLB.com has him as debuting in 2022, which is a very quick time, period of time to rise up. Sometimes you get players that are really good, but they'll come up at age 25, 26. You have a guy come up in the 20 to 23 age range, and that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have on those two guys. It was kind of a long-winded answer, but
listen, Sean, you're attractive. Let's cut shit here.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go for my third guy. I'm gonna go with a pitcher. I'm gonna go back to pitching. A guy that I've been following for a long time. I have personally not compared him to Kumar Rocker, but I think it was a year ago. I put the question on Twitter: who's better, Kumar Rocker or Hunter Green? Kumar Rocker is on my dynasty team right now. He might not be for long. I've had some interest in him from a couple teams, and he might be on the move. The timeline for me is starting to get long because, again, he's not on a team because of yours truly, the New York Mets. They're idiots who would waste a 10th overall pick on nothing, and God bless their souls for that.
America's team. That's all I gotta say.
America's team. But Hunter Green, I mean, if it wasn't for his injury, man, this guy, it's never been about talent. The talent is just oozing off. I mean, he can sit. He has sat at 104. Okay, he can hit 104 with his fastball. He's a starting pitcher. We're talking about Jordan Hicks as a starter. And again, Jordan Hicks has had a lot of injuries too. Not shocking when you're throwing 104. That's what happens. I've always bought the hype. I think he's a complete stud. He's a guy that I've been targeting this offseason. I'm trying to get him out of the clutches of Coach. Leif has him on his dynasty team. And something I guess I want to talk about is, I think I've mentioned this before, but I've watched interviews with Hunter Green before, like from years ago. When he was first really coming up as a prospect before the injury. He's got it. He's just a good dude. He's very, very bright. And to me, that means a lot. And you could tell the work ethic through the screen. Like, he was about baseball. He's not about money. He's not about whatever. He's about baseball. He wants to win. He wants to pitch. He wants to compete. And he wants to be the best. And when I'm evaluating a player, it sounds ridiculous. When I'm evaluating a person, just like a team would. And that definitely factors into it. I think he's an awesome guy and even better athlete. Maybe not. That's just how good of a guy he is. Last year in the minors, we're talking combined double and triple A, 3.30 ERA, 106 innings with 139 Ks. Could have seen him do better. Could have seen him do worse. In AAA, when he played, he had 4.13 in 14 games. So his AA numbers definitely inflated those stats in a positive direction.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned. I really, he's just one of the guys where like I don't really care about his minor league stats right now, because I know he has the stuff to get major league hitters out, and I know he has the mindset. So it's just getting him healthy on a field. But I think he's going to be pretty big for that Reds staff for a lot of years.
That was beautiful.
Now I guess because you went double on me, Sean, out of nowhere.
Yeah. You can do that too. I just want to throw some input real quick upon the listening to like the player talk and their intelligence and all that. As silly as that sounds, I agree with you. I mean, it's not all cases, but if he has a good head on his shoulders and is able to articulate, answers of questions from the media, as simple as that may seem, and he handles it well, that I think bodes well, because when you're in the major leagues, you got to handle a lot of stuff. You got to be intelligent with what you say, what you do. And as a pitcher too, you got to be smart. You got to know how to attack a hitter, when to maybe, try and get him to chase, when to attack him, when, where to go in the zone. There's a lot mentally that comes with being a pitcher. So I just kind of agree with what you're saying there. And, baseball might be one of the most, intelligent, mentally based games out there, or sports out there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when you can't out pitch them or out throw them with your arm talent, the people who can outsmart people win. I mean, look at Trevor Bauer. I know, like, it's a sore subject right now because he also had some mental deficiencies that made him do stupid things off the field. But on the field, one of the smartest guys you've seen, calculated and dissected the game down to it and has achieved amazing things without the best arm talent. We see it a lot with football. Me and Sean are Giants fans, and a lot of times after we draft someone, we see their interview and we can tell right away whether they're going to succeed or not. It's very easy to tell. Football, I mean, can seem like a stupid test. There's a reason they have the litmus test or whatever it is. I forget what it's called. But like, you have to memorize how many different plays. I mean, these aren't stupid guys on the field. Like, to be elite athletes, you have to be extremely dedicated and extremely intelligent in whatever sport you are. So I appreciate you jumping on my back there with me. Do you want to go with your number 5, or do you want me to go 4 first?
You can go 4 and then I'll do 5 after that.
All right. So my number 5 guy, we're gonna shout out here Alec Thomas. Okay. A little bit lower in the rankings. He is a center fielder for the Diamondbacks. But this guy is, I'll be frank with you, Sean, he's a stud. And he's hit absolutely everywhere he's been. He's 21 still. In 2018, 333, 395. 2019 got bumped up, 300, 379. 2021, obviously they missed a year, all prospects did because of Corona. 313, 394. And most of that's in AAA. He played 17. Well, that's not true. Some of that's in AAA. He played 72 games in AA, hit 283, 374. Moved him up to AAA, played about 40 games there, and he hit 370, 434. So he just improved when he got to AAA. And that's something I've actually heard of and seen a lot when you're talking about elite talent, because sometimes they need to face elite talent to be better. He's just hit. He hit in college. Like, he's never had a season where he's had an adjustment period, which is a negative and a positive in the same sense. I think he can play this year. I think he can get meaningful at bats for the D-backs. Outfield is another place where prospects are pretty deep right now. He had 13 bags as well last year, also 9 caught stealing. So I think that's not going to stick. Maybe he's a 10 bag a year guy, but you have to cut down on the caught stealing. 18 bombs in 106 games, so he has pop potential, but he just hits. Alec Thomas, and again, good-looking guy, good-looking fellow.
Beautiful. Now, my last guy here, again, in no particular order. I Oh, by the way, I agree with everything you said. I didn't want you to think I just glossed over it. I agree with what you said. But my next guy is San Diego Padres shortstop CJ Abrams. I'm picking this again. I see a lot of the guys I picked. I am looking at maybe they're more down the line, like major league situation, and I see him as the. Let me find the prospect ranking here of him. I believe he's top 10, number 6. With his anticipated debut this upcoming season, 2022. It's interesting because Fernando Tatis Jr. is a shortstop, and the Padres put him in the outfield to try and see how he was out there because he was made some errors at short, but also I think that because they have CJ Abrams tearing it up down the minors is a reason that they are maybe looking forward to the future. And it's crazy to think the Padres have this prospect considering they've made so many trades over the past couple of years, just trading away prospects left and right, and they still have, I believe, a few guys in the top 100, which shows you how deep they were in prospects and how bad they were for such a long time that they had all these players. But to Abrams, he kind of suffered from the 2020 no minor league season. He played in 2019 in the minors. I believe it was A ball, low A and high A ball. He hit a combined 393, which is fantastic. A lot of times you get players when they first transition from high school or college to the pros, a bit of a learning curve. He obviously did not have that issue. He's got a little speed between those 34 games, in his 2019 season. So I believe he got drafted that year. I'm not positive on that. Again, I can't really look into that at the moment, unfortunately. Low strikeout numbers, which we love. Not much pop. He hits, the most home runs he's hit so far has been in a season was this past year with this past year with 3. So he's not much of a power guy. He's more your older style conventional shortstop. So kind of the opposite of Javi Baez or Francisco Lindor. He's going to get on base. He's going to make contact. He might swipe you a bag or two. Fast guy. Yeah. Now he may not have the all 5 tools with the power aspect of it, but he can hit for an average, which is unfortunately overlooked a lot in today's game with the advanced metrics. An average is not valued as highly as it once was. But I think that he brings enough to the table to make up for maybe the lack of power in a way. He's got a good eye. He walks a fair amount. And I think that he's going into a good situation with San Diego. I haven't seen any interviews of him. I can't pull that one out of the bag like the king over here. But I think CJ Abrams has a high ceiling. And I'm also interested to see how he's handled as he progresses through the system. It also could be likely he gets traded. The Padres have been wheeling and dealing. They always have been. And they're kind of in a win now mode. So maybe they see a fit with another team, trade partner, who they can get a player who's already in the majors. So don't be surprised if you maybe see him on the move. But either way, I think he's going to have has potential to have a good start to his career if his progression continues the way it has started so far.
Yeah, and that could be something that we talked about last time with Fernando getting some outfield reps last year.
Yeah.
Could have been a double-edged sword. I mean, I know they were trying to save him from injury. I don't know how much is saving someone from injury out in center field, to be frank. So I think that also could have been – they know they have one of the top prospects in baseball who plays short, who doesn't make as many errors as Fernando, maybe isn't as flashy, but defensively makes less errors. So that could be a future for Fernando, and then CJ comes up and plays short. Don't know if that's actually what they're thinking, but just a thought. On the serious note, though, have you seen? Is he a good-looking kid? Because again, you really need to.
I have. Let me just go back.
And again, that's opinion based,
Yeah. Well, some of these pictures, he's got some short dreadlocks, so that's always a good thing. I feel like if you have hair like yeah, exactly. I was going for that. McCutchen, since he cut his hair, it's not the same. I guess he looks athletic. He's a very skinny kid, so he looks like your prototypical shortstop speedster.
Okay.
And which makes sense. He doesn't have a lot of pop because he's very much a twig. But yeah.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
I'll get into my last guy, who might also be kind of my top guy for this year, I think, production-wise. I think this will be one of the biggest. This guy could win Rookie of the Year this year. I'll put that out there. Didn't know if I was going to talk about him. Again, we post these to the internet. I'm in a dynasty league, so there is some conflict of interest. I'm going to talk about a guy by the name of Josh Jung for the Texas Rangers. He's a third baseman who I think will probably get the starting job out of spring this year. 23 years old. Sean, would you be able to give me his prospect ranking, if you could, while I'm doing
Yes, 1 second.
Played AA, AAA last year like a lot of guys, split time evenly, 43 to 35 games. Between that, he hit 326, 398. Like a lot of other guys I've highlighted, AA, 308, 366. They said, Josh, you're really hurting people. Let's move you up to AAA. He went 348, 436. Again, 436 on the on-base percentage. That is a little bucky. 652 with slugging, just if you were interested. So that's good for 19 homers in 78 games with a 400 on-base percentage. I haven't heard much about his fielding. I really haven't seen any video on his fielding. But he seems pretty filthy. Definitely someone I'm interested in targeting in the draft this year, if he's available for me. And again, I think he's I wouldn't say place your bets, but place a soft bet that he is your AL Rookie of the Year this year. Third baseman for the Texas Rangers, Josh Jung, and his ranking is.
He is ranked number 48 out of 100.
48 out of 100. All right. There you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my rankings.
Absolutely. And just to go off that, what you're saying, he said first base a lot of times a slugging position, and shortstop has become that. Third base might be the cream of the crop over the course of baseball history. Third base, you expect the guy who's going to hit for a decent average, hit a lot of home runs, play good defense, and could be considered the captain of the team. In a way, there's a lot of third basemen that have done that. Some third basemen that come to mind that I grew up watching, Trevor Jones. I mean, he was a good defender, an outstanding hitter. I could be off of the Scott Rowland, I'm pretty sure was a third baseman.
Yep.
He's on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. Adrian Beltre. I could go.
I was going to lose my fucking mind, Sean.
We'll get into this later when we start naming players. But either way, third base is the hot corner is a slugging position. There's always some really good hitters there. Nolan Arenado. I should stop because I could keep going. But yeah, third base, good position for a power hitting, good guy, good clubhouse guy.
There we go. And believe it or not, I do have 2 bonus picks that I just want to highlight. I want to shout out. I don't know if these guys are going to play in the majors this year, but it's not because they haven't already. And I'll say that. These are kind of prospect lifers, but they had phenomenal seasons last year in the minor leagues, kind of had breakout seasons, and I think they should be given it another chance. I'm going to do
some would say they could be myself for the Specky, Never made the debut, but has been long rumored.
100%. They've made a debut but a while ago.
Okay. Well, I did make a debut a while ago.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So let me do a share of my screen. Sean, I think you'll be familiar with this first guy. Do you remember Tyler White? Houston Astros.
Vaguely, yes.
So let's share the screen. Tyler White was a top prospect for the Houston Astros. I don't know if the face does anything for you. He is, I believe he's 27 now, or no, that's his number. 1990. What does that make him, Sean?
32.
32, huh? Holy shit.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think it would be 32.
Wow, this poor guy, huh? 32 years old. Let me make sure this is the guy from the Astros and I'm not crazy. It is. So he came out with Houston.
How did you find this guy?
Sean, listen. I do my research.
You do.
I was just snooping around seeing who performed really well in the minors last year. And he was one of those guys. So he came up with Houston in 2016. I remember him being a big prospect, kind of came up with all of the other top prospects, Correa. I think Altuve was already up well before that, but Correa and some of the other guys, might have been Springer. but he never really panned out. As you can see, he got playing time in looks like 3.5, 4 years. I mean, 4 years. He got 83 games in 2019, but he never stuck with the club. Don't remember that stint with the Dodgers in 2019, but God bless his soul. Surprised I don't. That's not the point, though. Let's go to the minor league stats, and let's take a check-in on how he performed last year in 2021. So 292 average with a 424 on base percentage in 105 games. We're talking 13 homers, and this is showing really what I think. Why can't this guy at 32 come up and be a valuable major league piece? Take a look at that, Sean. What does that say?
I hold on. There.
Oh,
It says his walk to strikeouts.
yeah. And what
He
do we got?
walks more than he strikes out.
How rare is
love
that now? That's
love that.
valuable. He walks more than he strikes out with a 300 average. He's got an over 400 OBP. Obviously, that's because he walks more than he strikes out. Obviously, he's not a speed threat, but he's just a veteran eye. I mean, he's a baseball lifer. He's 32 years old. He's been playing in the minors since 2013. And at this point, you can see the strikeout to walk. I mean, look at it 2 years ago, 47 to 101. So the improvement that's been going on every year has been pretty inspiring. And I think at this point, someone's got to give the guy a chance. I think he can come up and really be a contributor. And 13 homers in 105 games ain't nothing with 26 doubles. I mean, he's lower than 500 slugging, which I think kind of contributed to the strikeout to walk approach, which I like that approach better.
Yeah.
But kind of a new age, old age Joey Votto kind of situation where he took a little step off the huge daddy hack situation, but now he's walking more than he strikes out, and he's still a good offensive player putting the bat on the ball.
Now, what organization is he with?
He's currently with the Blue Jays.
Okay.
And he did that in AAA, folks, last year, which is fairly close.
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, he's hit 300. So I don't know. I feel like this guy deserves a chance.
I think I saw him play. I saw a Syracuse Mets game this year against the Blue Jays affiliate, the Buffalo Bison, and I think I remember him now. He was, I think, the 3 or 4 hitter, and I remember that beard. That's basically what I remember the most, is that full beard. Yeah.
It's not a bad beard.
Not at all. Not at all.
The second guy I want to shout out is Jose Marmolejos. He is 93. What's 93? Can you do that one for me?
That'll be what, 29?
29. There you go. That's why we got Sean. Again, been in the minors since 2011. He had a little bit of major league time in 2020 and 2021, but he hit 160 last year. He didn't really do all that well. But again, that happens, especially when you're a minor league lifer to get thrust into the major leagues. But if we look at last year, nope, I just wanted minor league stats. If we look at last year, in 83 games, 338, 439 with a 672 slugging. So this is a guy whose strikeout to walk is still great.
Yeah.
26 bombs in 83 games, Sean. The slugging
That's impressive.
Off the charts with 16 doubles and 2 triples to boot. I mean, a guy's not going to steal any bases. Again, an older type player, another first baseman. But first baseman has been kind of weak. He's on the Mariners. Yeah. Who's playing first for the Mariners these days?
That's a fantastic question. I'm not really sure.
And I think that proves my point. Give this guy some ABs. And I know they did in 41 games last year, and he didn't pan out. But give this guy another chance, because 26 homers in 83 games with a 440 on base. I mean, just one level down. I think Jose Marmalejos deserves another chance. Him and Tyler White, again, they're not really prospects because they're 30 years old. But I just want to give a shout out because we've seen it time and time again. Everyone develops at their own pace. People break out and kind of it clicks for people at different times. So they're still prospects, right? They're just not kids anymore, but they can definitely contribute to major league teams. Doesn't matter that they're not 21 years old like the really cool guys are.
I think we should tag them in our Instagram post. Maybe they'll we'll get a little comment from them. You never know.
Yeah, and God bless it if they do. Tyler White, if you're listening, and I know that you are. Just stole that from Haymaid, by the way. You're fantastic, and I think you deserve a shot this year. I'd give you a shot on my team. I'll tell you that right now. Not my dynasty team. The age is a problem for me. But if you break out this year, I'll definitely pick you up for the season. Maybe flip you for some talent. That might sound rude now, Tyler.
A little bit. You have a fantastic beard, and the best of luck to you. If you do watch this.
You too, Jose. You too. I don't want you to think that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So
where are we on time?
It is 9:07. I'm not sure when we started this because of the whole issues with ours. But one of the other things we had on here was the name as many players as we could, right? Am I correct with that?
That is correct.
We know so many players because we're such well-versed baseball fans. Do you want to do maybe like 5 minutes? I have a timer on my computer, and it's actually working. We could do 5 minutes of this, and then from there we can see where we want to go. Because we could always do this little, installment in another episode as well. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was saying either I can try and trade you somebody now, or we could do that, and I'll trade you someone after the episode.
Well, I think trading it another time would be good, just because I can't quite access my Fantrax team on my my computer. Folks, I'm sorry. I'm living with the Amish out here. There's not much. I literally live on top of the mountain. Yeah, I apologize. I'm no longer in the Long Island area.
But when we do, and when I hit stop recording and everything, and we're still here talking to each other as friends, would you entertain a little trade talk tonight?
Of course, and if a trade goes down, we will definitely keep the listeners, viewers in the loop.
All right, Sean. So, if you want to go first with the player, and what are the parameters here? Are we going? Current.
I think the parameters would be any player that has played during our lifetime. We can start out broad, and then as we go on in further episodes, we can trim it down a little bit, and we can get a guest on here like my brother or Leif or Matt, and they can maybe be fact checking. You know what I mean?
Okay. So this could almost be a competition here, because what if we don't lose in 5 minutes? Do we have to restart next time, or do we go from there? Because we can't repeat a player. You repeat a player, you lose.
Yeah, we can't repeat a player right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to just do 5 minutes and then see what happens from there? Because me and you could do this for literally days.
Yeah, you'll lose within the first 15 seconds. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I am gonna hit start now, and when I tell you, you're gonna come up with a name, and then I'm gonna go from there.
Don't cheat by pulling up your Fantrax roster of the MLB.
Oh, I can show you my screen now. All I have is the timer in front of me. All right.
It's terrible.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Hunter Dozier.
Brian Dozier.
Brandon Belt.
Joey Votto.
Nick Castellanos.
Brandon Phillips.
Sonny Gray. I love that guy.
Randy Choate.
Brad Keller.
I don't know if I'm familiar with him.
Pitcher
Adam
for the
Dunn.
Royals. Adam,
Okay.
Adam Dunn. Tim Anderson.
Eloy Jimenez. Stick with the White Sox.
Mark Burley. Why not?
Delman Young.
Ooh, Denard Span.
Ben Revere.
Oh, boy. Sean Figgins.
Milton Bradley.
Jorge Polanco. I'm going to get new age on you.
Whew. Aaron Rowan.
Michael Franco.
Brian Wilson.
Everett Cabrera.
Melky Cabrera.
Ooh, Miguel Cabrera.
Ooh. Miguel Rojas.
Yadier Molina.
Andy Chavez.
Paul DeYoung.
Jose Reyes.
Mark Teixeira.
Sent a text message to the left field bleachers. Nice. I like that. Robinson Cano.
Xavier Nady.
Oh, wow. The Mets traded him for Oliver Perez.
Danny Jensen.
Okay. Scott Rowland.
Kenley Jansen.
Brad Hand.
I was hoping to go someone Foot, but I couldn't. Alex Rodriguez.
A-Rod, huh? All right. Billy Wagner.
Derek Jeter.
Mariano Rivera.
Billy Hamilton.
Speedster. Ruben Tejada.
Andy Pettit.
Whew. Barry Bonds.
The Juice. Josh Hamilton.
Andrelton Simmons.
Byron Buxton.
Oh, Jerkson Profar.
Joe Adell.
Akil Badu.
Torrey Hunter.
Ooh, I like that. Joe Mauer.
Maglio Ordonez.
Jorge Cantu.
Kosuke Fukudome. I'm going there with you all day, buddy.
Aramis Ramirez.
Sergio Romo.
Giovanni Soto.
Placido Polanco.
He already said him.
I didn't say Placido Polanco.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Guys,
Maybe
comment down below.
Hey, maybe you said Gregory Polanco. I don't know. You said Polanco. I thought you said Placido Polanco.
I've never said a Polanco today in my
You
mind.
definitely did. You definitely did say Polanco. Well, we'll go on from here, but
No,
we'll
I mean,
post
listen,
this,
if you're
folks.
saying I'm losing, comment down below, guys. Did I say Polanco today?
And Dan better not edit it out.
No edits. You know me. I don't edit.
Okay, we'll let that one slide. Jason Grilly.
Jason Mott.
Heath Bell.
That's what I was thinking of. I was trying to get to Heath Bell, but I couldn't get the name. Neil Walker.
Josh Johnson.
Jed Lowry.
Dontrell Willis.
Ooh, the D train on me.
Yeah.
How about Jose Fernandez? Rest in peace.
Luis Balbuena. Also rest in peace.
Luis Castillo.
Bartolo Colon.
Luis Castillo. Cincinnati Reds pitcher.
You're trying to get me there.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Will Smith, Atlanta Braves.
Oh, okay. I was not. You stole.
Oh, I don't know. Who are you going with there?
I was going with the pitcher.
Oh, well, then I lost. No, the Dodgers catcher, Will Smith.
Justin Turner.
Justin Morneau.
Whew. Paul Konerko.
Dustin Pedroia.
AJ Przinsky.
Big Poppy.
Jorge Posada.
Juan Soto. Why not throw him out there?
His younger brother just signed with the Mets, by the way.
Did he?
We're close to 5 minutes, but let's keep going a little more if that works for you.
Yeah.
Hanley Ramirez.
Yoenis Cespedes.
Cespedes.
Cespedes. Cespedes.
This one's for Coach Lyle Overbay.
Oh, Adam Lind.
Adam Lind. That's a good one. Matt Stairs.
Brandon Lau.
Well, that's a good one. Shane Baz. Baz. Yeah.
Vernon Wells.
Whew. Andrew Jones.
Guys, I don't know how we've gone this long, but Darren Ruff.
Legend. Absolute legend. Jimmy Rollins.
Cody Ross.
Whew. Dan Ogla.
Oh, Chase Utley.
David Ross.
David Robertson.
Dave. Shane Green.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
You said that with a little bit of disdain in your heart
A
there.
little bit of disgust on that one.
Sean Green.
Ooh, that's a good one there.
Hat never stayed on the head.
God, I'm going to go with – oh, Sean, I feel like I might have just lost. I know, you got me all frail. Armando Galarraga. I got
Paul LaDuca.
Justin Verlander. That hurts to say.
Carlos Delgado.
Carlos Carrasco.
I like that. Cookie. Mike Clevenger.
Carlos Lee.
We're at 6 minutes. You want to go to 10 minutes? You want to just keep going?
Why not?
All right. Who's the last one you said?
Carlos Lee.
Carlos Lee. Oh, I was like, wasn't that? Derek Lee.
Mm-hmm. Carlos Quentin.
Wow. Omar Vizquel. I'm pretty sure he played when we were younger.
Yeah, I thought about saying him. Edgar Renteria.
Yunel Escobar.
Nigel Morgan.
That man was crazy.
That was a crazy man.
Lastings Millage.
Wow. Holy Junior Lake on you. Jesus.
JJ Putz.
JJ Hardy.
Matt Weeders.
Matt Stairs. Did you say Matt Stairs already?
I did. But...
Yeah, I lost.
All right. You want to leave it there?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
7 minutes, 51 seconds of just straight names, folks.
I didn't even get Marco Scudero out. That was my next guy. But I tried to go with the first names you were giving me.
Yeah. You might have said Placido Blanco.
I don't want it, Sean.
You definitely
put it down below right now. Everybody who watches this, so Leif and Matt, right now, go to the comments and say if I said it. If I said it,
I think you said Gregory Polanco, but I don't know.
Gregory Polanco. There's no way I said Gregory Polanco. I didn't say Clayton Kershaw is the huge problem.
You did not. Nor did you say Julio Urias.
No, I said Verlander. I pretty much stayed away from the Dodgers because I didn't want to seem like a fraud.
I said a lot of Mets players, but more older players.
Yeah. You said a lot of old. We both went definitely older players today.
That was the golden years, man. That was when you were growing up.
Oh. Well, you got me this time.
Oh, I'm glad that I could pull it off.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Well, folks,
Sean, you've done hurting my feelings today.
Yeah, I try to keep it to a minimum, like once a day. I don't want to really, get you upset.
That's good. Maybe we'll get it traded after this podcast, then, guys.
Absolutely. You got anything else you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Thanks for watching and listening, guys. I don't know if we say it enough, but we really do appreciate the support, any support that we do get. We do this for fun. We do this for you, but really we do it for ourselves. But we love that you guys come along with the journey. This is a good time for me and Sean. Wait for us to connect once a week. Hopefully you guys get some value out of it, learn some baseball stuff. And thanks for enjoying me attempt to entertain you, but look like an asshole.
You don't look like one, Dan. It's okay.
Thank you.
As always, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and there's Dan's present. That's wonderful. We couldn't see what just happened. So
yeah, this was open.
All right. The background's good. Anyway, thank you for watching, listening, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week. Like, comment, subscribe. Tyler White, is that his name?
Tyler White, Jose Marmalejos.
Yes.
We're rooting for you guys. I expect big things this year.